After 9 years on Upwork, I kind of know what works with proposals and what to avoid, but back in 2013 when I first started, I had absolutely no clue. And today I'm here to share with you guys my very first proposals on the platform and let you know what I would change if I were to do them now, and hopefully not embarrass myself too much in the process. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. Hey, if you're new here, my name is Sylvia and I do videos about succeeding as a freelancer using Upwork and social media. So if that's something you're into, don't forget to hit subscribe. Today, like I said, we're reviewing my very first proposals on Upwork. So let's start out with this one, which is for a job called Pictures to be Redone. This client essentially needed someone to take the background off of some pictures, and this is the proposal that I sent to them. Hello, I'd like to apply to this job. I'm open to hear all your ideas for the designs and the overall job. I'm also open to send you updates on the process / different versions, so you can make any changes you feel like. If you have any further questions, feel free to message me and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Regards, Sylvia Pino. So the first thing I want to note here is I didn't add the client's name. I didn't know that trick back then. If you don't know, if you scroll in the job post, you can see the freelancer reviews for the client, and you can find their name that way. So I didn't know that trick back then, so I didn't use it. I also have a very blank first sentence that doesn't really tell them much. Something else that I did that I wouldn't do nowadays is I kind of sent them like unlimited reviews or suggested unlimited reviews, which I definitely wouldn't do now. I have much better boundaries now, but that's not necessarily a red flag. I guess it could be a bonus for first clients, but it's always good to have boundaries in place, guys. Now, another selling point that I use that this one I don't agree with at all is when they asked, why do you think you are a good fit for this particular project? I said, I don't charge a lot for my work. Now, you should never say that to a client. Even if you are charging lower rates because you're just starting out, you can explain that way, but just saying I don't charge a lot, I don't know, it just rubbed me off the wrong way. And by the way, if you noticed, back then it was called Odesk, so this job wasn't even on Upwork yet. But yeah, that's it for the first proposal. Let's move on to proposal number 2, which was sent to a job called 30-minute Portuguese transcription. So they sent me an audio file, or they would send me an audio file and I would transcribe it. So let's have a look at that proposal. Now, the first thing I noticed about this proposal is it's kind of too blank. Like, it's very, very short, and it just doesn't say much. It also lacks a selling point. Like, if you read this, like it says, hello, I'd like to apply to this job. I'm a native Portuguese with fluent English. If you have any further questions for me, feel free to message me. Regards, Sylvia Pino. Like, it doesn't tell them the why. And this goes as a tip for you guys as well. If you are doing this, you should always kind of mention in your proposal why they should hire you. Like, why are you applying to this job in particular? Like, why are you excited about it? Is it the industry? Is it the particular project that really appeals to you? Show your excitement and show why you are the person for the job. You may not even be the best skilled at it, but just straight up excitement about what you're doing can be a huge selling point as well. And also at the end here, I say, if you have any further questions for me, feel free to message me. Now, I should probably be the one asking questions, right? Like asking what I need to know in order to do the job or to consider the job. Back then, I don't even think connects were a thing, so I could definitely ask away like any questions I had in order to pre-qualify the client. So not just offer myself up to answer any questions that they have, which is a good thing, but I should be asking them questions as well. Now, that was pretty short, but let's move on to proposal number 3, which was for a job called... Okay, so this one was for a children's book illustrator, and the job was pretty brief as well. It just said, looking for an illustrator to complete a children's book about dogs, 14 to 20 illustrations plus a cover. So let's see what I said to this client. So first of all, I don't know why I thought that I'd like to apply to this job was a good opening for my proposals. Again, I don't have their name here either, but let's move on from that. I just don't like this first sentence in a proposal because if you don't know, clients can actually see the beginning of your proposal and they can choose whether or not they want to click through and read the whole thing. So you kind of want to grab their attention with that first sentence, kind of like with your profile. So this one doesn't really appeal to me that much. That being said, for this one, I added a little bit more personality and a bit more selling points. I said I'm an artist who loves animals, so I believe this job suits me perfectly. I believe the book had to do with dogs. Yeah, it had to do with dogs. So I added that little selling point as the excitement part, like I said before. And I also added a link to my Facebook page at the time where I posted my drawings, which, is another kind of selling point. I can show them actually my portfolio and the work that I've done in the past. So I was a bit smarter on this one. I also showed that I was really willing to help. I was open to hearing their ideas and everything like that. The only thing, in my opinion, that kind of killed this proposal was the I hope you'd be interested in hiring me. I feel like that sounded a little bit too desperate. But in general, this is the best proposal so far, so no complaints. All right, so proposal number 4. Let's see what we have in store for this one. So this one was for a job for translation from Portuguese to English ASAP, and they wanted someone to translate from Brazilian Portuguese to English, and it was 20 pages of content. So the first thing here is that it wasn't a perfect fit. It was Brazilian Portuguese, and I speak Portugal Portuguese, so it's a bit different, but that wasn't too bad, I guess. That being said, I was actually honest about this, and I think that was fine. Again, right now, I probably wouldn't apply because I wasn't a perfect fit, but I explained what I just explained to you, that it wasn't a big deal and I could still get the job done. Oh, something I'm noticing now is I had some spelling mistakes as well as lots of grammar issues. My English wasn't as good at the time, but let's skip past that. Now, one thing I really don't like in here and that I think really cheapens the whole proposal is me saying, I'm not sure how long it would take to translate the 800 words. I just feel like that kind of shows my inexperience and it's something I could have left out of the proposal. Instead, I could have told them just that I would have it to them within the deadline. That would have been much better. Also, something else that's not as bad is I said in my bid I put $5 and I don't explain really if it's $5 per word, per page. I really don't specify it, and I feel like I could have made it more clear. But I think actually the client specified their budget in the job post, but still, I should have been more clear in that one as well, so they didn't have to ask any unnecessary questions. But you live and you learn. Now, on to proposal number 5, which was for a job called Translate Website Content from, again, Brazilian Portuguese to Portugal Portuguese. So it wasn't as outside my wheelhouse as the previous one, I guess. And this one isn't too bad. I was actually invited to this job, so it was probably my very first invite. So I started out by thanking them for the invite, which I think is nice. I said I can definitely do this for you, which isn't too bad either. I just feel like overall this proposal felt a little bit too desperate. It's not too bad, I've seen worse, but I say I can definitely do this for you and I can start as soon as you hire me. Also, I'm open to meet any deadlines you may have, so please let me know if you hire me. Also, for the translation you asked for, now this is something I wanted to mention to you guys. I actually did some free work for the client. Now, let me explain to you why I don't think in this case that's too bad. So you've probably heard me say that I don't recommend you do free work unless you watermark it or make it sure that the client can't use it for free. But in this case, they actually gave the same sample to be translated to every single person because they had it in the job post. So they can't really take that much further than this, you know? It's really something that they can only use to compare different freelancers. Now, when I think free trials are bad is, let's say if the client didn't say that in a job post, but they said that to you in a message, you have no way to prove that they didn't send a different snippet of text to every single freelancer and got the whole job done for free that way, because they sent like paragraph 1 to freelancer 1, paragraph 2 to freelancer 2, and they got a whole page for free. Does that make sense? Let me know. Now, a little bit of a red flag here. They did ask for me to share my Skype username with them, which at the time was the thing, not Zoom. And I did tell them I don't like to use my Skype for Odesk jobs, but I was kind of on the fence about it. I was kind of willing to give it to them if they really needed it. But I kind of stood my ground as well and let them know that I prefer discussing it on Odesk messages. So you win some, you lose some. But yeah, side note, please don't give out your Skype, your Telegram, your WhatsApp. Keep the conversation within Upwork. That's their rules and they're there for a reason, for you not to get scammed. So take that if you will. Now, proposal number 6 was for a job called Logo Character Designer Wanted. Hello, I'm looking for a designer that can develop a character for my company's logo. So this one was cool. A little bit different from the other ones. This was more creative. So a good thing about this one is I did mention a job that I've done in the past and the feedback that I gotten, so they can see that I have experience and good feedback. And I even attached a sample of my work. So always send samples, guys. Even if it's from free work you've done, nobody needs to know. And again, the phrasing overall is a bit off. Like, for example, I say, as the project you have would need it to be digital instead of hand-drawn. No problem with that. I can also attach some examples of digital portraits that I've done. This is mostly just underdeveloped English, like I said before. So it's not too bad. This wasn't even a language related job, so I just had to know how to create a logo. And again, there's like a fine line between being helpful and doing everything for the client for free. So for example, in this paragraph right here, I say, I can also send you regular updates as you wish on the process, so you may ask for any changes in the character's features, colors, whatever you may feel like. Ultimately, I just want it to be as close as you pictured it. I like my clients to be satisfied with my work. Now, again, this is something to be careful with. There's a difference between being helpful and knowing your value and your boundaries. While it's good to want to give the client a good level of service and make them want to come back for more or leave you a good feedback, you shouldn't want to make yourself available all the time for all edits, because that's the easiest road to burn out. Trust me. So yeah, as a recap, you definitely always want to personalize your proposals as best as you can. I would say at the very least, try to add the client's name if you can find it. Also make sure to have a hook or a sentence in the beginning to grab their attention and make them want to read more. Don't forget to also show your interest and your excitement about the job. I believe that video is best for this because you can actually show your emotions and your personality. You also want to ask questions about the job post. This shows your interest and shows that you actually read through it and that you're interested in learning more. And lastly, don't be desperate and know your value. Don't say things like, you know, I can do cheap work or I can do any edits you want. Be sure to know your value and stick to it. And of course, remember that clients are busy, so keep your proposal short and to the point, but still packed with valuable information. If you have any questions about proposals or Upwork in general, let me know in the comments or shoot me a DM over on Instagram. I'm always there to help you guys. In the meantime, I recommend you watch this video right here on the top 5 mistakes I see on Upwork, so I'll see you there. Bye!